The worst part is it. Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut with Mike Kelly, and we're Real Estate Jerky Daily.
What's the worst part?
Worst part about that whole thing is the felony of conviction. They're not going to get rid of it, you know.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, if he's in remorse, we'll go ahead and pardon him.
Wasn't he falsely convicted anyway? Why would he be in remorse?
And remorse, the
Is
fact
the
that
felony conviction the lady that said he molested her or whatever?
that one that was supposed to be about election stuff,
right.
You know, and then it comes out to be something totally different.
Yeah,
but let's not stay talking. Let's talk about
real
real estate.
Let's talk about real estate.
All right. So today, existing home sales came out, which tracks closings on existing homes, increased by 4.8% in November at a 415 million unit annualized pace, which is above 4.07 million estimate. So it was much higher than they expected. Supply was up 17.7% year over year, and the median existing home price was $406,100, a 4.7% gain from a year ago. And this is nationwide. So guess what? No bubble.
Yeah. Remember when prices were so cheap at 406,000? No bubble.
Yeah.
No bubble. Only bubble that's going to burst, and that'll probably happen beginning of second quarter next year, don't you think, is the opportunity bubble. Opportunity to not have a ton of competition.
Yeah, but that's competition is going to hopefully increase next year. The reason I hopefully say, because we have no idea, because again, we're back in the 70s and I was the kid. I don't remember how it worked, but I just heard stories about it. So I was a young kid, like 5 years old or so.
Yeah, I was beginning my 18th year in life and starting to very slowly adult. Very slowly, believe me.
Okay.
Because I didn't really start till about 5 years ago.
Gotcha. It only took you a while. So they third quarter domestic product was also something coming out today. It showed a 3.1% increase on an annualized basis, above the 2.8% in the second estimate and higher than the 3% in the second quarter. Long story short, third quarter GDP, this is the final estimate. This means this is the final number, was higher than they expected for gross domestic product. That's huge. That means things are, again, better than what we expect.
Mm-hmm.
And then last thing we had today was initial jobless claims, which measures individuals filing for unemployment for the first time, was reported at 220,000 claims for last week. This represents a decrease of 22,000 from the previous week revised figure of 242,000 and was below expectations of 230,000. So less people went and got unemployed last week. Continuing claims decreased 1.874 million from the previous week of the revised figure of 1.879. So even less people are on unemployment continuously, but doesn't mean it got better. It just means they probably ran out of being on there. They had their 6 or 8 weeks.
They got to jump off.
Yeah. And then go find another job and then quit it and go get unemployment again.
Yeah. We call that doing Mike's sister.
I don't want to hear about someone doing your sister.
No, that came out completely wrong. What she did, she doesn't do it anymore because now she's just too tired.
Right.
I can't work.
Yeah.
I got carpal tunnel. That's 6 weeks I worked at Stop and Save in 1977.
The bond is up to 4.55 today. Remember back in September, 3.65. So we're 100 basis points higher than we were back then.
Why? Just relax.
Actually, 90 basis points. I can't add. But actually, it's 110 basis. No, one second, it was 4.65. Yeah, so 90 basis points higher.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? Because everybody's like, well, Fed lowered yesterday. Because I had it today. Vito was like, oh, how's rates? I heard Fed lowered yesterday. I'm like, yeah, they're up. But they lowered yesterday. But it has nothing to do with mortgage rates.
Right.
What the Fed does is the overnight rate to bank, which has to do with credit cards, overnight rates for
short-term rates.
Short-term, yeah, the Fed funds rate. HELOCs, those kind of thing. But what it showed was when what's his name came out and talked yesterday. Who's the guy that talks about, not Greenspan, the other guy?
Powell.
Thank you. That's how far back I am today. He said that there'll be less cuts probably next year.
Yeah.
And so that was like, oh my goodness, less cuts. That means it's going to get better. When things get better, rates go up. That's how that works.
Right.
And we don't have the Fed buying more bonds right now, more, like they were doing. They're just letting the stuff fall off their books and if they're not adding and buying that, then our rates don't go down.
Right.
So there's so many factors that are in play right now, but the only thing you need to worry about, sorry, they're working on the side of the building.
I don't know. They can hear it. I don't hear it through the headphones.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
But I still hear it. So I was like right next to my head.
I'm like, yes, Lord.
Yeah. Who's home? Come on in. I forget where I was going with anything I was saying, but anyway,
So the Fed fund rates and overnight,
people are thinking rates went up, down, and they're going up
because
things are getting better. That's what the problem is. But it does make people call you and talk to you. So maybe you should be calling your clients and say, you probably heard by now the Fed lowered rates. That actually caused the rates to go up. And we've been talking to you about buying a house, and you want to get in there now.
Bring you to they do need to go there now.
Yeah.
Now's the time to do it. Purchase price cannot be changed. Interest rate can, a little bit down the road. And you have an opportunity to maybe get some stuff done or credits.
Yeah, I have a client writing an offer on a house in LaGrange, and it had solar, and what looks like the panel next to it, something caught on fire, and they shut off the solar. So I showed it to a resident solar expert at Rotary, which is Mel Bradley,
right?
His ground mount, and he's like, I have no idea what went
wrong
in there. Yeah, because like he goes, the max out of that thing is 9 amps. It should not be causing a fire. So
no, it really
they must have had something else there that was like an outside box for lights, or something connected that
was fed from electrical somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's what caught on fire.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the solar, but they shut everything off because it has to be. And he's like, I'll go up there, take a look at it. Like for nothing. I'm like, no. It's got to get accepted offer first, and then we got to get you out there. But he would be the person that I trust to get the right
absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. That's basically all I have for today. There's not a ton.
The activity out there. I'm just gonna tell you the thumb on the pulse of real estate activity right now is agents are very, very, very busy. We have
really.
There's a young woman in my office who has just closed 2 and got another one closing next week and doing really well. And it just tells me that there is a ton of activity happening out there, even as people would say, regardless of the increase in the long-term interest rate. People are starting to. Yeah, it's very recent. So they were in escrow 30 days ago or 21 days ago.
No, what I mean is the raise in interest rate is more recent in the last 3 weeks, where those got in contract in November.
And there's people putting people into homes left and right. So the activity is still there. Don't think that because interest rates are so high that you can't put your home on the market. I've heard.
And they're not as high as you just made it sound like. They're not 8%.
No. I know. And anything's higher than 3%, it seems like anymore. People are still hung on that number. But I talked to a woman in my office, great agent. She says, yeah, my seller's thinking about, she wanted to wait till after the election, and now she wants to wait until after inauguration. And then she might want to wait till this. Don't wait. If you're ready to sell, if your house is in shape to sell, and it doesn't have to be in that big a shape, right?
Yeah. Well, depends on how bad it is.
Sell. You're going to get a very high price for your home today.
Yeah. Oh, and the wealth gap between homeowner and renter is widening, meaning that it's still getting, if you own a home, you're making more money from the appreciation of your house. There was NAR had a survey recently, and they were talking about, what's the median age of the home buyers right now?
Right.
What do you think it is?
Median, right?
Yeah, the median rate. So just say the average.
I would say 42.
Close, 56.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is up from 49 and 23.
Okay.
Which the typical first-time home buyer is 38 years old right now in 23. Different. And this is the stark increase from 1980s when the typical first-time home buyer was in their 20s.
Right.
Yeah. And even in 21, 22, I had a ton of people when they were buying homes that were 21 and 22. My son bought 2 years ago, and he was 21.
Right. How old were you when you first
31.
Bought? Okay. I was 27.
Yeah. But buy the house was 31. I was in another contract to purchase a home earlier than that, but we didn't go forward on it.
Yeah. Hey, Dave Albin's on. And so is Sojal. I can't pronounce those names. I'm sorry, I shredded it. But good to see you both listening. Thanks for the thumbs ups.
Yeah. All right. So there you go.
There we go.
Nearly 40% of homeowners surveyed by Redfin admit they could not own their current home. They could not afford it.
I mean, at today's value?
Yeah, today's value.
Yeah, that's why you buy now.
Yeah,
because
my house,
current value.
Yeah, it's 3 times what I paid for my house.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to purchase my home today.
Yeah. Well, you could. It just you wouldn't want to afford the payment. Well, that's just because I had a bunch of people reach out to me wanting to do stuff. And it's like, I always tell people, do not put a lot of money down in your house.
Right.
Keep it, because when you need it, you can't get it. Well, people are like, well, my income's down this year, was down last year, now down worse this year. And that's diminishing income. And we have to show that that's not what's really happening.
Yep.
Nobody wants to lend to somebody where their income is going down. They want to lend it to you where it's going up.
It's so weird. That's so strange. People are strange. Good morning, Chuck Lynn. We haven't seen him for a couple days.
Yeah. Well, have you seen him?
Oh, I see. He's all over online. I think he's at 46,000 Peloton rides and
probably
45 million miles spread. Guy's a stud. He's a stud.
All right. That's all I have for today. And
we're going to be here tomorrow,
and it'll be our final show of the year.
That's
right. We'll be back in 2025. The second week, right after New Year's, we'll be back.
Things are going to be that much close to being really, really good.
Yeah, we'll still be on the radio this weekend, and then next week and the weekend after that will be a best of.
Yeah. This weekend, I'm going to interview Ed, and he's going to interview me.
That's kind of how it always works.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody, make it a great day. Thanks for being here, Mike. Thanks for all of you.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Make it a great day.
Bye-bye, kids.
Bye.